Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dixie here with my daily dose of online entrepreneur tips. I can't even talk today. Busy mama life hacks and inspiration to help you live the most abundant life possible. And today I want to talk to you guys about something that a lot of people kind of shy away from. A lot of people kind of brush it under the rug. A lot of people try to think that it's not something serious or, like it's a taboo. Oh, don't talk about it. Keep it quiet. Push it under the rug. And it's talking about suicide, talking about suicide prevention and how we can help one another when it comes to this. And I'm just going to kind of tell you guys, I'll give you my personal story so you could see where I come from when I talk to people about suicide and how people are affected by it, friends, family, neighbors, and I don't even know where to start. So a lot of people know I had lost my stepfather at the age of 18 due to suicide. And my stepfather was like a second dad to me. And so my parents, just to kind of back stuff up, my parents had divorced when I was 11 years old, and the family was kind of in turmoil when my parents divorced. It was like us kids were trying to figure out how we live this new life. Dad was trying to figure out how to live this new life. My mom was trying to figure out how to live this new life. Like it was kind of like just this turmoil of split family. Nobody really knew, and it kind of was turning into chaos. And my stepfather came into the picture, and he kind of started to turn that around. He started to show us, split families can still live a normal life. Families can still live, like there doesn't have to be this chaos. And so he kind of stepped in and was like dad number two. He was this father figure to us. And he was always there to show us how, he helped us raise us through our teenage years. But at the age of 18, right after I had graduated high school, he committed suicide in my childhood home. And the thing that's crazy is with suicide and with people that are going through this is you never know who is having suicidal thoughts. You never know who is dealing with this depression. And a lot of times people hide it so well on the outside because like my stepfather was always smiling. He was always laughing. He was always making other people enjoy life. He was always making them smile. But little did we know that there was this evil turmoil of depression and negative thoughts and overwhelmingness, like whatever it is that he was going through, he was dealing with that on the inside, and yet nobody knew on the outside. Nobody knew what he was going through. And, I had somebody comment and tell me that there's now a lot, I know personally there's a lot of suicide prevention now. There's a lot of different hotlines, and one of them, when people go through depression and when people are having suicidal thoughts and people are going through this, like it's almost like I've dealt with depression before. I've never had suicidal thoughts. I've never had that, but I could tell with depression, it's like a dark world. It's like you're the only one. Nobody understands. Nobody knows what's going on but you. And I can only imagine that is like maximized tenfold with people that are going through these suicidal thoughts. So there is a hotline out there that you can actually text 741-741, and there are trained crisis counselors that will text back and forth. So if you know anybody that is maybe struggling, or you think that might be going through some suicidal issues or attempts or thoughts or anything like that, that is a hotline that you can share with them. But I wanted to just kind of give you guys, explain to you like what happened and kind of the story. And I'm not going to get into a ton of detail, but so I posted a picture earlier on my Facebook, and it was of my stepfather, a picture of him being goofy, got the fake hillbilly teeth in, like that was him. He was always making people laugh, and that was in May of 2012. And in December of that year is when we lost him to suicide. Yet nobody ever knew this. And I was in the childhood home that I grew up in, and I was over at Brandon's home. This is when me and my husband were dating. I was over at his home, and my little brother had called me and was just hysterical, telling me, Rob's gone, Rob's gone, Rob's gone. And I didn't quite get it. I didn't understand what he was saying. And about 5 minutes of me telling him, quit screwing around. Like, you don't mess around about somebody dying. Like, quit joking with me. I thought him and my older brother were teasing me. And then that's when it hit. And I realized, oh, like, this is serious. Like, they're not messing around. And from that moment, it was like just chaos just flew through the home. Chaos flew through me, through my mom, through my brothers, the neighbors. So, I had to run, I had to call Brandon because there was no way I could drive. I was so hysterical. He drove me to the house. Everything was barricaded off. It was winter. It was December 2nd and it's freezing outside. All the neighbors were there trying to take care of us kids. So me and the kids were at the neighbor's house with blankets. They were trying to do everything they can to console us until we figured out what was going on. And the things that, and I guess I don't even really have like a point to this, and I might ramble on, but I just want to explain that. So when he committed suicide, I was affected. My brother was affected. My older brother that found him and cut him down was affected. My mom was affected. His family was affected. My family was affected. The neighbors were affected. So we all think about like all these people that are affected of the aftermath of a suicide. But I guess maybe what I want to do is because I want to help people understand and help people open up their hearts. And sometimes we might encounter a lot of rude people at the stores, in life in general, just jerk people. I mean, there are some people that are just rude to one another, and it's natural tendency for us to be rude right back. And so I guess I just ask that, that we be more loving in this world, because you never know if your smile or your gracious attitude of holding a door or letting somebody go in front of you in line, you never know what that person is going through. You never know how bad off they may have it. And maybe your smile or your gracious act of kindness could be something that can help that person know that there's good in this world and know that there's hope. Because so we think about suicide and we think about everybody that's affected afterwards. We think about everybody that has to deal with overcoming that death and overcoming why did that person do that. And honestly, like for me and my family, I think that we dealt with like, why would he leave us? Why would he do this so that we have to go on with life without him? Why would he do this in our childhood home, and then we have to live there and know what had happened in our basement? Like, why? And we think about how we are affected, but the people that are going through these dark moments in life, that are dealing with depression, that may have these suicidal thoughts, it's more about them. And I think that we just have to open up our minds in a different way to be able to realize that. And like Nicole says on here, one kind word can change everything. One smile can absolutely change everything. One phone call. If you have a friend or a family member that's just going through a crappy time in life, call them and just give them kind words. Let them know that you're thinking of them and that you love them and you're there to talk no matter what it is. Because we think about so to give you a personal, I'm kind of rambling, but I thought about why would you do this to us, Rob? Why would you leave my mom? Why would you leave us kids when we loved you so much? Why would you, take yourself from us? But then I had to return and think about what is he going through? I don't understand why he did that. There's no putting your mind around why would somebody commit suicide? But you know what? We don't understand it just as much as the person suffering does not understand it. They don't understand why they have these thoughts. They don't understand why they're so miserable. They don't understand why they're thinking such horrible things. They don't understand how to get help. They don't know how to reach out to. And I feel like a lot of times these people are suffering. They feel like this is their only way out of their suffering, their only way out of all these negative thoughts, their only way out of whatever it may be. Maybe life's getting to them. Maybe it's because financially they are just so burdened by debt. Maybe they're having marital problems. Maybe it's just relationship problems with boyfriend and girlfriend. Statistics show that suicide is really high in teenage kids, and a lot of that comes down to relationship stuff. Maybe it's being bullied, and so we have to think about, like, what are they going through? Like, we may not understand it, but they don't understand it either. They don't understand why they would think such harmful things against themselves and why that's going to alleviate them from it. Granted, I mean, it does not solve the problem, because when it happens, it just creates just this roll-on effect on how it affects everybody else when suicide happens. And so I guess my point is, I don't talk about this a lot. My stepfather committed suicide in 2002, so this year will be 15 years. And yes, it is very hard to deal with the holidays, with Christmas. It happened right before Christmas. And so it still creates a lot of emotional roller coaster for me, but I feel like coming here and talking about this and telling people about how this affects people and how you can be that better person and how you can love people, strangers, friends, family, neighbors, whatever it is. Just put a smile out there. Just smile. Can you imagine what the most radiant smile would feel like coming from a stranger if you had a bad day? Maybe it was just a bad morning. Maybe it was you just got fired from your job. Maybe it's somebody that's thinking about going home and committing suicide, and you gave them that smile, or you opened up the door, or you said something kind to them. Like, we never know how our actions can portray and help other people. And so I guess I just come to you and say that through my experience, like, I've been affected by this personally. The way we can react to others, like, we can totally change this world and help people and give, advice. I don't even want to say advice, but the way we act, the way we smile, we can totally help other people. And so I just bring this to make you guys aware of, to be kind in this world, to be humble, to be loving, and to portray that outwardly to other strangers, because you never know how suicide can totally affect people. And those suffering from it mostly, because they feel like there's no option. They feel like there's no help out there, even though we have a lot of resources available now. We have that text hotline that I was telling you about that people can text to. There's things available for others, but I just ask for you to be a kind human. And, and I guess not even just when it comes to suicide and trying to do like suicide prevention and awareness and all that, but with all of the chaos that's going on in the world, like these natural disasters that are happening, just all we can do to make this a better place is to be a loving person and to be kind to one another. And so I'm not going to ramble on anymore. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience, about how that suicide totally transformed and affected my life. But what I like to think is, what could I have done to maybe have helped him? And we can always think those things, and it's like all we can do is just be a better person, be loving, be kind, use nice words with each other. And if you know anybody that is going through hard times, I just challenge you today to reach out. Send them a nice little text. Tell them that you're thinking of them. Give them a call and just tell them you wanted to see how they're doing. Maybe you want to grab coffee with them. Just be more loving in this world, because that is what every human needs. Every person needs more loving friends and people to come around them. So I'm going to quit rambling, but I just wanted to, put this out there, share my story a little bit about, suicide awareness. And I hope that you guys all go out and show some more love today to your strangers, to your neighbors, to your friends, whatever it is. So you guys, you know what, Diane, I'm going to read this. Diane says, you know what, just be a good listener. Sometimes people just need to vent. They need someone to be non-judgmental. And that's the biggest thing. Don't tell them what you think or what your advice is or how they can handle stuff. Like, just let them talk. Just let them talk and be there unconditionally and love them and give them that support that they need, because